What does a calm, assertive house look like with a Frenchie and a Corso? That's them while I'm eating. Actually, I just got done. Settle. Vader. Don't look at me like that. Settle. No. Settle. He's being very defiant right now. Settle. The only reason I gotta raise my voice is because I have been letting him get away with friggin' murder. And I just charged up his e-collar today, and we're going to go for another week of Daddy not taking any bullshit. There's Jorge. There's Vader. There's my plate. And that's what it looks like. Just got done barbecuing. There's the barbecue right there. Let me zoom in. Oh, I just had so much fun cooking this. It's in the Tupperware. Yes, you're looking at my house all dirty. Vader, settle. Hey. No. Good. So I'm just gonna kind of wait a couple of seconds and then let him free. All right, break. So George is not, he doesn't know what break is. He knows what fat is. He's fat. Chubby. He's on a diet and he's still not losing weight. He's still my king. He's a really good boy. So is Vader. Vader, sit. Down. No. He just tries me, man. He tries me so much. So we're gonna put an end to that. He's going back into a lot of crate mode. A lot of just corrections. I kind of, you know, when you have dogs that know your voice and they know when you're absolutely serious and they behave when you're absolutely serious, and when you're just kind of fucking around or trying to show off on camera, they don't really pay attention. George, down. George, down. Right, so that's what I get. Vader, settle. No. See, it's like I got to go through all that, and I really don't have to. He knows. So that's the thing. When we're going to go back into a school mode, and I found you got to do this with your dogs probably once every. I'd probably do it once a year. Most people should probably do it once every 6 months because their dogs are not as good as my dogs. Vader, settle. So, all right, break. There's a trick to it, you know. You have to be able to have some kind of control in the house. I have to be able to tell them to stop doing something, or to out, or to break, or to just friggin' lay down. If I let Vader go, he'll get into this little rut. He'll hear lawnmowers and cars going on outside, and he gets into a pace. And he goes into my room. He goes into the kitchen. He goes into the living room. He goes into my office. He goes into the bathroom. He goes into the living room. He goes into the kitchen. He goes into the office. He goes into the bathroom. And he does this. He'll walk around for 30 minutes. And meanwhile, I'm kind of not really paying attention because I'm watching TV. And then when I catch it, and I tell him, Vader, down. And I just make him kind of just, hey, just relax, settle. and it just kind of helps shut him down. But if I'm not on top of him, he'll turn into a complete mess. And that's the whole thing with dog training. People seem to think that, like, you're going to have somebody come to your house or take your dog and you're going to drop them off for 3 weeks and they're going to come back to your house a completely different animal. And trust me, it's not even... Actually, when they come back, the take home, when I take a dog to a house that they've spent for a board and train, they're right back to their same old crap. So everything in the take home and the go home, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, Vader, settle. No. You're gonna piss me off. God damn it, settle. See, I gotta yell at him. He knows what settle is. If his e-collar was on, I wouldn't even have to touch it. Like, just the simple fact that it's on, he's a totally different dog. And what I'll do is I'll put it on for a couple of days. Hey, settle. No. No. Settle. Vader. So, Vader's a different dog. George, down. George, down. He's not going to listen. My dogs are just totally fucked up. All right, break. So, what I was saying is that when you take a dog home, and you know what you're going to find? I can train dogs that are not mine. First of all, both of these dogs, when I put a leash on them and a collar, I can turn them into, basically take them outside and turn them into show dogs. In the house, they're very, very comfortable. There's no question as to who is, kind of the pack leader. But I let them get away with shit. Like, if I tell Vader to place and he doesn't go on his bed, but turns around and walks in my office and goes in his crate, I don't scold him for that. To where that, crate is one thing and place is another. But if I tell him to place and he turns around and walks in my office all by himself and goes in the office and wants to lay in his crate, I don't really get on him for that. I mean, if somebody's here and I'm trying to show off and, place means place and I have to point and stand up, he'll go. He'll do whatever I tell him. If I put a prong collar or an e-collar on him, right now he doesn't have it. He has nothing on. I had to take off I had a Cuban link choke chain on him that I bought him when he was younger. That I really only bought for aesthetics. I don't use choke chains. I don't believe in choke chains. I don't even put his leash on the choke chain. He's got a completely separate. I got a flat leash on him for his collar. When I put him on leash, he's on a different thing. The choke chain was simply for looks, simply for aesthetics. And the other day I was playing with him and I noticed I tried to, I always grab his collar and I swish it around and I move it back and forth. And I went to pull it over his ears and the damn thing wouldn't move. So he just did that on his own. And that's calm, relaxed. He's still a Navy SEAL on crack. Just because he's just a nervous dog, man. He's scared. George don't give two shits. If I go in the kitchen and, let's say, crack an ice tray, and he's not, like, really paying attention to me being in the freezer, he'll jump. He'll turn around and freak out. That's why Vader will never be bred. Vader. I'm not even talking right. I'm not going to castrate him, but I'm also not going to breed him. He's starting to fill out. He's going to be 2 in January 29th. His eyes are changing a little bit of color. They change usually around 3. But he's starting to fill out a little bit. It doesn't look like it. He's still kind of long and lanky. His shoulders have gotten broader. His head's gotten bigger because I know I almost couldn't get the collar off. He hasn't gained any weight in probably 8 months. He's been 95 pounds for the last 7-8 months, regardless of what I feed him. I give him a bunch of food, and he doesn't eat it all. But if I leave it there, he'll go back in the middle of the night and eat it. George knows better not to go in it. George's food has been cut in half as of about 10 days ago. He has not lost any weight. His stomach has shrank because he's not really bothering me as much when he's done eating. But I literally just went to a diet food instead of just cutting his intake in half. It was suggested that I actually buy him a dog diet food, and the one that I use is Origin. I like Origin because they have less crap in their food than any other kibble I found. They're a little bit more expensive, but with Vader, he gets Steve's patties. I buy it in bulk. I'll give him probably 4 patties just mushed up in his bowl, and he loves it. When he's done with that, I'll give him a cup of kibble, which is Origin's original. Yeah, it's expensive. I don't really give a shit. Right, Vader. Vader, what are you doing? What are you doing? See his long ass head, long snout. His head has started to get wider. I can tell that he's going to be much different at 3 years old than he is at 2. And he's a lot different at, almost 2 than he was at 7 months when I got him. But he's still structurally fucked up. He's got a very narrow front. He's got a bad croup. He's got somewhat of a high rear. It's gotten better. He's got a very narrow head. It looks like a fucking donkey. And I paid a shit ton of money for first pick male litter from Crapacenzo Cane Corso and Rachel fucking Haddock. But it is what it is. I'm gonna keep him. I am gonna get a female. I already know who I'm buying the female from. I'm gonna wait a little while. George is gonna be, he's going on 9 years old. And I'm just really not ready to bring in another puppy and introduce another dog in the house. It means another crate, which is a large crate. It means a lot of time, regardless of who I get the dog from. If I get an 8-week-old puppy or an 8-month-old puppy, I told myself never again will I get a dog that I didn't get to spend 8 to 15 weeks with. That's what happens when you get the first 8 to 15 weeks. And this crackhead is what you get when you get a 7-month-old dog with literally no socialization. The breeder did nothing. She didn't take him anywhere. She did nothing with him. She might have let him in his house a few times, but for the most part, he was left outside, and I know that from the scars on his neck when I got him from the bark collar. So, I don't care about what she did. It's a matter of what I do. I spent a shit ton of money on him. I sent him to a 3-week board and trade at Solid Canine. It basically helped me understand what I was doing wrong. But the fear and the nervousness is just in his genes. It's in his blood, regardless of the atmosphere. But I love him to death. He's my dog. Where's my big dog? Vader. 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 Is there a Batman? George. George, where's Batman? He's like, See you later.